In today's episode, I am chatting with Connor Walberg, not just about SEO, but how AI could impact your SEO and how you can start to utilize it to work smarter, not harder in your business. So, if you have a business, if you have a website, if you are curious about AI, any or all of those things, you're going to want to take a listen to this episode. Stay tuned. I'm Nicole Begley, a zoological animal trainer turned pet and family photographer. Back in 2010, I embarked on my own adventure in photography, transforming a bootstrapping startup into a thriving six-figure business by 2012. Since then, my mission has been to empower photographers like you, sharing the knowledge and strategies that have helped me help thousands of photographers build their own profitable businesses. I believe that achieving $2,000 to $3,000 sales is your fastest route to six-figure businesses, that any technically proficient photographer can consistently hit four-figure sales, and no matter if you want photography to be your full-time passion or a part-time pursuit, profitability is possible. If you're a portrait photographer aspiring to craft a business that aligns perfectly with the life you envision, then you're in exactly the right place. With over 350,000 downloads, welcome to the Freedom Focus Photography Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Freedom Focus Photography Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Begley. Back on the show today, we have Connor Walberg, who we've had on the show before. He is an SEO expert and just an awesome guest, and we're super excited to have you back. Welcome back, Connor.
Thanks, Nicole. It's great to be back on the show with you.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we were chatting about all sorts of SEO stuff, which actually I'm going to look up here and let people know what the actual podcast episode was, because I should, remember to look that up before we start the conversation, but I never ever do. So thankfully I have a big old Monday board. Okay, here we go. 261 SEO myths on September 24th, 2024. So if you guys did not hear our SEO myths conversation, myself and Connor, go check that out, episode 261. But today, we're going to dive into some AI stuff as it relates to SEO. Super excited. Have you been doing much with the AI stuff, Connor? Tell me about what you've been up to with it.
So lately I've gone, and I hear this from more and more people, but it's like a deep dive where out of nowhere, it just becomes a massive part of your business and life. And it happens really fast.
It does. It does. It really, really does. And I had the same kind of trajectory where it was interesting. Oh, but it's not very good. And there's this whole learning curve of so you have to learn how to utilize it correctly, because otherwise then it's just cheesy, generic, doesn't really help in any way until you really start to dig into how to use it effectively. And so it has become such an integral part of my business now that I don't know how I ever survived without it. I definitely feel very conflicted about it though, because of the energy needs for it. And, being an environmentalist at heart, I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm ruining the planet, but yet I need it to work now because I'm so much more effective and it's so helpful. So, maybe just plant a couple trees or something too.
For every AI prompt, run out and plant a flower.
Yeah. We plant a tree with every day's output.
That's interesting, talking about the power usage, because it is kind of it's eating up so much power. It is an incredible amount, and it's creating more and more demand for power.
Mm-hmm.
But as that happens, I really think that pushes society to find more and more creative ways, hopefully.
I hope so.
That are going to be more environmentally friendly for this power that we're now burning. So hopefully it's actually just accelerating the rate, even though it's accelerating our burn rate and our usage rate. Hopefully it's accelerating the rate that we, develop renewable energies and things like that.
I hope so. You have to forgive me if I don't have high expectations for the next 3.5 years, but I don't want to get into politics. Hopefully that is true though. And it will cause us to create some more. And hopefully it doesn't go the way, because the Matrix was very much ahead of their time, where then, we all became just cocooned to become energy sources for the big like Matrix.
And science fiction, it's like been shown that everything we create in science fiction over the years starts to become a real thing. It's like a vision of the future. So hopefully we don't go that way, but it's almost like we have self-driving cars now. And sometimes I think that's just so that we can be on our phones more.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, probably. And then like buying more things and, like just on the phone and scrolling and shopping and scrolling and shopping, like keep the machine running. Yeah. Well, okay. We're really going to get to AI here in a second, but we're deep diving into all sorts of craziness. And I think there is, if you want to get like woo for a second, and there probably is some piece of a collective consciousness that like all these people start seeing these different things. And then like you start manifesting like society down these different paths, which we could get real
there
crazy
definitely
here for
is.
a minute.
Once the energy's out there, it manifests.
Yeah. Did you ever read the book Big Magic?
I haven't.
Oh, it's so good. Who wrote it? Hold on. Her name's escaping me. There it is. Elizabeth Gilbert. It is so good. And the whole premise of it is really like the ideas that are floating around out there, are like kind of have their own consciousness in a way, and that like there's this idea and it pops in your head, and if you don't grab it and do it, it's going to be like, okay, well, screw you, I'm going to somebody else, and like somebody else will get that idea and execute it. So like, from things from like major movies to like novels to just our art, whatever it is, like it's just kind of floating out there in the ether until you like grab it. So if you get a good idea, act on it or it might get stolen.
It makes a lot of sense too if you look back at how civilizations developed. A lot of great inventions, like things like the wheel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the wheel was one, but there's things like that were developed and created at the same time in multiple parts of the world.
Yes.
Different societies that had no contact with each other.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this is starting to get into ancient aliens kind of territory, but they have that with similar Mayan structures in Peru and like pyramids and like all sorts of things that were, I mean, back in that time, those civilizations had no way to connect with each other. They didn't even know that they existed.
Yeah.
So it's all really fascinating.
It is.
But anyway, we're here to talk about SEO.
Yes. Very closely tied in with everything we're saying.
Absolutely. Like if you want to rank for ancient aliens, you should definitely start doing the Matrix now. Okay. Yeah. And really it was just about, okay, so SEO, we talked about that one episode with different myths. So definitely go listen to that if you haven't. I feel like that's a good primer. But I think probably the first question that a lot of people have is, there's all this AI stuff and there's so much AI content being created, and there's likely all these websites that are probably just like putting up 10 articles a day because they're just like cranking out AI content. And I would imagine Google's going to get smart to that, like that the search engines are going to want to reward like actual human content, which isn't necessarily to mean that we can't use AI, but I think a lot of people just think like I can't use it because I'm going to get penalized. And, well, my daughter is in high school and, so there are lots of strict rules, and she's taking a college class, like one of the community college classes the high school pays for. And so she was taking that, and it's a sociology class, and they have to do like a little writing every week. And, he was very much adamant, no AI at the beginning of the course. And I guess one of the kids that goes to school with her must have turned in some AI thing. So then he got a 0 on that assignment. And there was this whole big email that the professor sent out that was basically like, listen, if you used AI and I found out, like I have ways, then you got a 0. If you want to make an appointment and come in and plead your case, you can. However, if it's determined that you used AI and you're lying about it, you're getting a 0 in the whole course. I was like, holy cow. So she's super nervous to even use it, where I'm like, you can use it for brainstorming or like for her to start to write college applications and like put in information about yourself and like help it come up with ideas and then you write it. But I feel like there's so many ways that we can ethically use it. And so, yeah, so let's kind of talk about all that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much to talk about right there. The main thing.
Yeah, sorry, it was a big old run-on thought.
But about your daughter, what you're saying, I would be scared to even write. I'd honestly want to turn in a handwritten draft or handwritten paper. I wouldn't even want to like type something, because how is this professor actually telling if they're using AI?
No idea.
And is it just, are they running it through one of those, there's these tools, these websites you can go to that will say, is it AI or not? And a lot of content that people write that's normal content is like 95% AI is what it says. And it's like, well,
yeah,
that's not, I just wrote it.
Right. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I don't know how, or I mean, she has an A in the class anyway, so she's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So I kind of think if these tools can't even tell, they don't even know the difference for sure.
Yeah.
Then AI is definitely to a point now where it's fully viable and reasonable to use. Like, it's all about prompting it right and then going through and editing it and adjusting the prompts. You can do editing in ChatGPT, but then once you pull it out, going through and adding your personal touch. And I think the big difference that Google talks about is that personal touch, the experience side. They added another letter to EAT, which is expertise, authority, and trust. Now it's EEAT, and this is how they grade content to decide if it's good or not. And the first one is experience. And if your content conveys an actual experience and it's clear that like the person experienced this, AI can't do that, then supposedly it can tell. But at the same time, there's all these sites where people have created tons of great content. Google updates the algorithm and the sites get squashed because maybe it thinks it's AI generated because it's really well written for SEO. So
gotcha.
And Google has met with some of these site owners and said, hey, we don't really know how to fix this. Sorry that your business tanked, and these are like big blogs that, yeah. So if you're in the knowledge space, if what you're doing is writing blog posts that are catering to things like how to fix your camera lens, like you read an article about that,
right,
then AI is now taking that and inserting it into the AI overview, which is that top part of Google
right.
or Perplexity. And basically it's rewriting it, though a lot of times it's suspiciously close to exactly what you wrote, with a little link to your site that nobody clicks anyway.
Right.
So they already have their answer. They're not going to click it. So clicks are down 30% for that type of search.
Oh, wow.
But as a local photographer, the AI side is still, it's not changing it.
Yeah.
Really, because Google and Perplexity, and I'm kind of going on something different here, but they all have to deliver the same, like they have to deliver options to people. And they have to deliver our actual sites. They can't just be like, oh, this photographer specializes in this photographer, it says all of them specialize in pet photography. And it's like 10 of them, right? Like that's not going to be helpful. And it can't just give you one based on what it thinks is best, because that's not fair practice for competition. So in the local photography space, not much is changing.
Yeah.
But this brings me to one other thing. There's a new term that you're probably going to see floating around called AEO, which is like artificial engine optimization for like Perplexity. It's SEO. And even Neil Patel, who's one of the big guys in SEO, is saying that like he would call this a subset of SEO. It's the same exact thing. It's just marketers putting a new name on it to sell it.
Gotcha. So. What you mentioned Perplexity. Is Perplexity like Chat? I know Chat and Claude. Is Perplexity like that, or is it specific for another tool?
It's specific for a search engine.
Oh, okay.
It's its own company. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And is it AI based?
But yes, it's AI based search.
Okay. All right.
And it's stealing market share from Google.
Huh. I have not heard of that. I'll have to explore that one.
But a very small amount, but it's very fast how it's happened. And that's why people are like, oh, Google's going down. But that's been that way for 20 years that people are saying things like that. So.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. So I noticed something because I was looking for a local screen printer. And so I just went to Google and I like basically asked screen printers near me, and it came up with the AI blurb. And it had links to two that were really close to me in that AI blurb, which is the first time I have seen that.
Which that definitely would be a little shift from how things were done in the past. But it is at least delivering you two results. And then I'm betting that underneath it, you still have the map.
Yep. Yeah. That was the top.
Posts,
and then the map and then the results. But I thought that was fascinating because that's the first time I'd seen that, where it's like this company and this company, and they were both like super local. And then there were a whole bunch of others down in Charlotte, but these were like in my like my zip code.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it was proximity based was a big
Mm-hmm.
part of it.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of how Google works for any like location based search.
Yep.
So if you type in near me, or like I live near Denver, like Denver pet photographer, like it's going to choose things that are closer to me or that location that I name.
Yeah. Even if when you're a service-based business and you have like a service area instead of an actual address, does it still look at proximity for that, or is it like anywhere in that radius?
So from what I can tell, it still is pinpointing closer to your address.
Okay.
Even if you don't list your address, you had to enter it when you created
Yep.
the account. They know the address and they're going to serve the best result near that address.
Okay.
As you create content talking about other areas
Yeah.
within your area of service, that can help boost those ranks.
Okay. I was going to
Around
say,
it.
what's the best practice then for someone that maybe lives, an hour and a half outside of a major metro area, but they're pulling their clients from that metro area. So for them, SEO of their site is going to be like critical because
Yes.
they're not going to get the local boost.
The local boost isn't going to be strong for them.
Yeah. Okay.
But if they're an hour away, Google says you're still within range. They say up to 2-hour drive time. But think of the pool of photographers you're now competing with in an area that big. That's why we want to try to be pretty specific.
Yeah.
And I think of it as two different entities in that case. Like the website is ranking you for the city, and Google My Business it's validation for your business, but it's also those local areas around you. Even
Right.
if it's rural and there's like 500 people
Gotcha.
in that
Gotcha.
range.
Love it. All right. So what kind of things, if I'm a photographer, like how can AI help me? I mean, obviously you can help them with their SEO because you have an awesome membership to help with SEO. But like how can people look at AI to help them either with their SEO directly or indirectly?
There are so many ways that this can be done. I kind of think of AI first off as like a brain trust.
Yeah.
It's like or an employee. And the key to making it all work is to treat it like, a person, a
Yeah.
personality, like talk with it. You're having a conversation, not a tool. When you
Right.
stop thinking of it as like, what can you do for me?
Mm.
Like, and you start
Mm-hmm.
thinking of it like, I'm going to work with you to make this thing better, or I'm going to
Yeah.
work with you to improve this, or then it starts to make a lot more sense because I think people go in with blind prompts and they're just like, hey, write a blog article on this photo shoot I did. Here's a photo from it.
Yeah.
And AI is like, well, I don't know anything about this photo shoot. I don't know anything about you.
Right.
So
So then it's
first,
like super generic and they're like, why is it so generic? This stinks.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. And then they complain and they
Mhm.
don't use
Yeah.
AI again.
That actually is a huge shift that you just mentioned, that the looking at it as like a team member or a consultant or like an actual sentient being that can help you, that you can like ask questions to, instead of, because I think so many of us are so used to how Google works. And so we're going to chat thinking it's Google, and it is night and day, and it's 100% not Google. So we would still just like ask it search based questions or just like general kinds of things instead of like really digging into the conversation and getting really specific with it.
Yeah. So talk to it, have a conversation with it. And one of the things that's craziest, and this before you even get into the SEO stuff with your ChatGPT, and now just so everyone knows, starting like last week, ChatGPT now remembers every conversation.
No.
It's not just little bits of things or what you tell it to remember. It just remembers everything as long as you're on like a paid plan. Otherwise, it might remember little bits. I don't
Yeah.
know how they control that, but
There is a setting. If you go up to like your picture in the top right, wherever your settings are, there is a setting that you can choose to not have your content like train the bigger model. I mean, is it? I don't know. Like, I don't know if it actually is or not. So like, don't put your bank account on there, people. But yeah, so you can do that. And then there was, I don't know if it's now shifted, but in the past you had to go into that same kind of setting area and select for it to remember like your other conversations to build upon it. So I don't know if that's still an opt-in or if that's now an automatic kind of thing.
I set up that remember part a few weeks back
Mhm.
and it was only remembering some stuff at that point you were supposed to tell it to.
Okay.
but now it just remembers everything. So I don't know if that setting's still there, but it probably is, because I'm guessing they have to do that because of a trust level.
Yeah,
And
probably.
some
Yeah.
people are like, I don't want it to remember anything about me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I don't know how you work with it, but I've started using a microphone just to transcribe my voice
Oh,
for each prompt.
yeah.
And having the conversation is more authentic.
Yeah.
It's we're not constructing things in such a unique
Yeah.
manner, like a scripted manner.
This is funny. So I've tested it, and when I would speak to it, it would speak back to me. And I didn't like that because I'm very much like, I am not good at auditory processing. So it was just like, depending what it was, like it would start to spit out like, copy or strategy or this or that. And I'm just like, like I need to see it. So I have not been using much of the voice.
Yeah, and I just use it just to transcribe it to text, and then I send it.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Gotcha.
just, rather than typing the prompt, I
Yep.
think it's so much more natural. When I reread it, I'm like, oh, I sound like a human here. But when I type, I'm like, I sound like I was taught to write this way in school.
No, right.
And
Okay, I see what
it
you're saying.
changes. So I think then by doing that, ChatGPT is probably learning more about my personality
Yeah,
and
and how
how
you
I,
speak. Yep.
yeah,
Oh,
which
that's a
we tend
good.
to hide when we write.
Yeah, that's a good one. So the one thing that I have created, well, it's like three things that I've created, but it's like collectively one thing that I think elevated my use of ChatGPT to make it so much more effective was creating a brand guide and a writing guide and a target market guide for my business. So, like the writing guide, I'd gather different examples of emails that I had written and like social posts and just things that sounded like me. And I would have it like kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Look at it and like kind of it would describe it, and I would also have those examples. So I have a Word document that has all that in it so that I can just have that uploaded and it's like, hey, this is how I write. And there'd be like things that I often say, things that I do not say, so you could put stuff like that together. And then I have a brand book, which is, my business, like who I serve, what my offers are, my values, like just all of those different things. So it knows about my business. And then I have, last but not least, my target market, which is like, all right, this is who I'm serving. This is, their like why they want photography. This is what, I forget all the different pieces that are in there. Like what are they reaching towards for the photography? Like how is my service helping them? What is my service helping them avoid? Like what are they saying? What are the trigger events that would cause them to look for a photographer? What do they want to do with the final images? How do they feel about the final images? Like just all this stuff. I mean, I use ChatGPT to help me create it. Like I would start with some general kind of word vomit of what I thought about my target market, like who they were, what they enjoyed, general demographics and psychographics. And then I would ask it different questions about it and it would build out the answers and I'd read it and be like, oh yeah. Oh, and it would think about things that I'm like, oh, 100%, but I wouldn't have thought of if I had to brainstorm that. So with those three pieces, when I upload them into ChatGPT to help it make copy or, update my website verbiage or create blog posts or write emails, like it knows so much more and it's so good about sounding like me. And I will also then, like, if I make big changes to what it kicks out, which I often do, and I always want to include personal stuff too. So I'll sometimes just say, oh, let's include the story of XYZ. And I'll give it just a couple sentences, like some information about it. And that's usually all I need. And it works it in really, really well. So if I make a lot of changes, I'll upload the final one and be like, this is my final one, like, please remember this verbiage tone, like, how I speak. So then it keeps getting better to sound like me. So that I think is game changer to get it to work better for you and work smarter.
No, it really is, like understanding you, because we have to remember that ChatGPT, it isn't us.
Yeah.
It only knows what we tell it. And the best way to use it to get started, in my opinion, is to ask it like, hey, what can you do for me? This is my business. I run a photography business. I shoot this type of stuff. Can you ask me a bunch of questions
Mm-hmm.
to help tell me where you can help in my business?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, or to do that with a brand package. Like,
Yeah.
I want to make a brand package about my business, but I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Tell me what you need to know from me to build this brand package and prompt me through this whole system. And you will have a conversation with it for the next hour, going
Yep.
back and forth and
Yeah.
answering its questions and uploading emails and letting it know more about you and telling it to crawl your website, all this stuff, which it can crawl sites now, crawl all our websites, which is amazing.
Yep.
That's where it starts helping with SEO.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It is so, so good. And I love that advice because I've been doing that too. If I get stuck on something, I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm like, how do you think that affects my business? And then it would be like, no, and then you could correct and be like, no, yes. And like, it would just give you ideas. My other favorite way to use it is just brainstorming. And I'll use this a lot of times for this podcast interview. Like afterwards, I'll take it. I have a whole custom GPT set up that helps create the show notes. It takes the transcript. It'll do like the 10 things to listen to, which will actually be really funny for this one since we're talking about it the whole time. The 10 things to listen to. And then it helps me with my email, but I want to still share personal stories with my audience. So I have it prompt me for different stories or email ideas that I might have that I might not think of, that I could be like, oh, I do have a good story about that. And so that way it can bring more of my personality into it, but I'm not just staring at a blank page.
It's amazing. It's like a second brain.
Yeah.
But then, yeah. So ask it, start asking it what it can do and how it can help you on certain things. And from an SEO standpoint, you can go right into ChatGPT and be like, hey, where can you help with my SEO as a photographer? What can you do? What can you tell me? So that's a good place to just get a feel, though I have a bunch of suggestions now that I think would help. But I think that's just like, have a conversation with it. And in a way, think of it like talking to yourself, but it isn't you. So you're talking to someone else who knows you very well once you've given it enough to know you.
And knows so many different things. I actually had to ask it. My horse was slightly like randomly lame, but not like consistently lame, like on and off again, but like acutely lame when he was lame. So I was like explaining it. I'm like, act as an equine veterinarian and give me some suggestions of things that this could be that I should look into. And then of course it must have been prompted for legalities. It's like, check with your veterinarian. I am not a veterinarian. This is not legal advice. But
or medical advice.
Yeah. But it was funny. One of the things on there, it's ended up being what it was, which, yeah, it's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So the first place that I think, and you were talking about content, like how AI, if you have 1,000, if a website is generating 1,000 pieces of new content a day, how is Google handling this? How are the search engines handling this? And I think for the most part, they're getting smart enough to know, like Google can tell like, hey, you are a single photographer running a website. It says nothing about a team on here.
Right.
And you're putting out 45 blog posts a day. Like,
yeah, no,
this might not be good content. I'm probably not going to do much with it.
Yeah.
But if you're putting out one blog post a week and you're using AI to generate it or to generate topics, that's a great option for AI. Is like, it's called topical authority is a huge component of SEO. So what that means is your site is the authority on a topic, right? So you are the authority, you're the expert on pet photography or dog photography or horse photography, whatever it is. Yeah. And so you say, this is what my site's all about. Look at my site and am I fully addressing topical authority? It knows what topical authority is. And say, can you tell me what I'm missing? What are some parts that are missing from my site that would strengthen that authority? And this is going to help you rank higher if now you create a couple blog posts that reinforce that topical authority that it sees every other pet photographer site has that's ranking number one. It's going to say, okay, you need these too. Now you're fully an authority on the topic.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, some other ways to brainstorm, because I think the biggest thing holding people back from starting to do like blogging and putting more content on their website is just knowing what to put. So certainly what you just suggested is genius. I'm going to do that for my site. And then like the other thing too is just to like ask yourself, and you can brainstorm with chat too, like what does my target client need to know before booking a session. Like, what are common objections they have? What do they need to know and be comfortable with before they book? Once they book, what do they need to know or prepare before the session? So things like what to wear, what am I going to do with my images? The objections of my dog won't behave, my dog has to be on leash, my 2-year-old's a 2-year-old. Like, there's so many different things that we know the general ones, but sometimes you will go to chat and it gives you some other ones that you maybe didn't consider. You're like, oh, and that could be a really good. And then you have content for days. I mean, you can, if you are blogging once a week, that's 52 topics. It's really not that much.
And then you go to ChatGPT and you say, repurpose this into an email, repurpose this into 5 social media posts that I can deliver over the next 3 months, and create a calendar for this.
Yeah. And then you can also add it into your email marketing of like, oh, all right, what should I have in my email, like welcome sequence when somebody new gets on my email list? What do they need to know to prepare them to book? Like, can you help me write out a nurture sequence and address this. Like, it's really good at outlining what you should have for the different pieces. And then you can work on it one at a time. That's where I find kind of one of my hacks is I will help it. Like, it will kind of maybe brainstorm a whole thing. But if you just said like, okay, write my whole nurture sequence, like, no. Maybe brainstorm, like, how long should my nurture sequence be? What should the general outline of the emails be? Get happy with that. And then I just copy paste that into a Word document so I don't have to keep scrolling back up and down. And then I'll say, okay, let's start with email 1. Here's some extra information. Here's a personal something, like, go. And then even when it creates that, if it's kind of in the right direction, I'll kind of keep it. But maybe there's a section that it's like, I don't really like those examples. I'll just highlight those couple sentences and be like, give me other options for this. Give me different examples for this. Or I'll say, I want to use examples X, Y, and Z. Please rewrite it. So starting big, getting that outline clear, and then working on little bits, I find is a much more effective way of using it.
I completely agree. It's like you need the overview, and it needs to have a big picture view before you can get granular. And a lot of people start with the big picture view, and it's like essentially you're like giving ChatGPT a blank piece of paper and you're saying, write me a 5-page document on this.
Yeah.
On this one topic. And like if you do that if you gave that sheet of paper to 1,000 people, every single paper would be drastically different. So with guidance, we can actually take it the way we want it to go and make it so it flows and makes sense to us.
Yeah. I think that's key too, is, none of this, I think people sometimes maybe expect that they're going to go in to chat and get output and it's going to be like copy paste. I don't even need to read it, but that's certainly not the case. Like, you still need to double check it and like add in that personality where you can make sure it sounds like you. I like to read mine out loud. Because sometimes if I'm just reading just by like in my head and I'm just like scanning it with my eyes to read it, I'm a terrible proofreader. But if I'm saying it out loud, then I can be, oh, I would never say that. And, so then it can still sound like me.
That's a great tip. Yeah, because if you think you're reading voice, you read stuff all the time. So you're not necessarily reading it thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
Or if it sounds like you. But
and you read so fast where if you speak it out loud, you actually have to like verbalize it. It goes a little bit slower. You're not just scanning and skipping things and, over viewing it over. I'm the worst proofreader. So spoiler alert, my team has forbidden me from sending out email without somebody double checking. I am not good at those details.
I have to go through each one like 5 times. And I'm like, I feel like I'm a good writer and I always catch typos, but each time I go through, I'm like, oh, how did I miss that?
Well, I am terrible. If you were like, can you read give me a once over? I'm like, I can give you some like feedback for the content, but like, I'm not your typo girl. It's terrible. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this has been super helpful. And I feel like we could geek out on this all day long.
Yeah.
I love the recommendation though, just to ask it, like, where can you help me? How can you help me with my SEO? I would imagine you can kind of do the same thing for your like Google My Business listing. Like, can you have it like look at that or recommend best practices for things like that?
It will kind of look through it. It doesn't seem to do a great job. Right before this call, I was actually just playing around with that just to like try to get it. And I was just asking it, okay, take the top 3 sites, the top 3 listings that pop up on this Google map and tell me how many reviews each one has.
Okay.
And it went in and it told me the tone of each review, and that's it. And then it didn't tell me. And then I explicitly said, what is the number of reviews? And then it did the tone again and didn't give me a number. And then I said it again. And then it went on Facebook and found out how many followers each person has on Facebook. So like you can get that data on people.
Yeah.
But when it comes to even like keyword research, if you're using ChatGPT, which you can do that now, I asked it where it gets its keyword research because it's not able to pull from like Ahrefs or SEMrush database, which are like the big SEO tools. It said it's currently filled in up to April of 2024. That's as current as its data is. And that it crawls Google on its own to figure it out. So just like these other tools do, but it's not updated.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's bad for keyword research. You can still get a lot of great insights because things that were relevant a year ago in most of what we're doing is still the exact same today or very similar. Yeah, you want to, for keyword research and just certain statistics and things, it can be a little rough and you need to check facts because I've created things where it has put a fact in that it claims. And I'm like, that is nowhere near true. I've never heard this before. And then I'm like looking it up. I'm like, this is so far off. You just made that up. And then I told it, I was like, this fact is incorrect. And then it was like, oh yeah, you're right. My apologies. And I'm like,
my bad.
My apologies. Like, that's weird. Okay. So keyword data. What was the question here? Like ran off there.
Oh, I know. I think, I don't remember. Oh, just Google my Google business.
One way it can help is to give you a grade for your SEO based on best practices. So if you ask it like, hey, crawl my website and let me know, like, how is it for SEO? And it'll tell you like, hey, you don't have an H1 tag. You don't have a keyword. You can ask it what the keyword targeted is on a page, on a competitor's page. And then you can make sure your page is targeting it correctly as well.
Oh, that's good. I have found too that it wants to be nice. And so like sometimes you have to ask it like, tell me what I can improve. Like, give me the improvements here. You have to ask it to get like harsher feedback. Cause sometimes you'd be like, take a look at my website. Let me know what you think. Oh, it's beautiful and this and that. And it's just going to like give you compliments. So sometimes you have to ask it to like, no, give me for real ways to improve this.
It's like an ego boost. Yeah. When I first was using it, it was like, oh, this is incredible. This is some of the best copy I've ever seen written. Now here's some things I would change. And I'm like, so I'm just feeling great. And I'm like reading the things it could change. And I'm like, oh, okay. It says mine was already great, which I know that I'm great. Yeah, but these suggestions can make it even better than great. Like, awesome.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So good. Connor, thank you for sharing this and geeking out with me on our little AI adventures. If people want to learn more about SEO and how they can help rank better and faster in their market, let them know about where they can find more from you because that is what you specialize in.
Yep. So you can follow up, and I run a membership where I help photographers with all their SEO, and I have a course in there and everything. And I'm actually this week, so by the time the podcast is out, it'll be released, but I'm recording an AI workshop showing examples of how to do all of this and releasing prompts and everything in the membership. So I think that's going to be super helpful. And in addition, for anyone that references this call, I'll do a free website audit as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I will look at your site and record like a 15-minute video explaining what I would fix, what's working, all the SEO best practices, and really I'll also use my SEO tools which, spoiler alert, 99 times out of 100, you probably also need more backlinks. So I'm just going to tell you all that you probably don't have any good backlinks yet.
Yeah,
or maybe you have a couple.
Which that's a big one. What are backlinks for the newbies out there? It's links back to your website from other sources.
Yep. So any website that links to you, and they need to be relevant, like related to what you do. And this is yet another place that I'm going to be talking about in the AI workshop where it's like, ask AI, hey, what are some relevant websites that I could do a guest post on that are highly relevant to my website. Here's my website. And it will give you a list. And you say, give me their contact info as well. And it'll give you their contact pages or an email or phone number, all that stuff.
Oh, I've never used it for that. That's exciting. Ooh. Awesome. All right, cool. Well, thank you again for sharing all that. Did you share your website?
I don't think so. It's connorwalberg.com, ConnorWalberg.com. And then it's the membership link up top.
Perfect.
If you want to check it out. And thank you so much for having me, Nicole.
Oh my gosh, of course. Anytime. You're welcome anytime. Yeah, super fun. Thanks for geeking out on our Matrix wormhole at the beginning.
You had to go there with it.
Yeah, I know for sure. It's just crazy. Anyway, you guys go check out Connor if you want help with SEO. He is the best. And I will see everybody next week. Bye, everyone.